The first currency that we all need in life is not money, it is actually knowledge. Marketplace will always ask you for how much you can create, not how tired you become. Nothing remains permanently the same. A tree that stops growing begins to die. A company that stops innovating will begin to disappear. Growth is not optional, growth is survival. What has God deposited into you? And do you now know that this logic is now important? Because the first currency in the world is not money.
Welcome to the Julius Aroba podcast, a platform for conversations on leadership, innovation, artificial intelligence, and global development.
Hello, welcome again to this masterclass, and I remain your mentor, your host, and my name is Dr. Julius Aroba, your mind, financial, entrepreneurship mind surgeon, and I've come to bring a very good, wonderful topic today that we're going to be treating in this masterclass. And today, we want to be able to go through the 7 logic of wealth creation. When I mean 7 logic, which means that we need to understand what are the logical reasonings and logical foundations for wealth creation. And this, again, for what most of us actually know, some of those things might not actually be put into perspectives. And that is why we've got to talk about this hot topic today. And for everybody, we all know that currency is the money that we use, or perhaps is an exchange for value. The first currency that we all need in life is not money. It is not the money that you spend. It is actually knowledge. Because for you to be able to know how to count, for you to be able to know how to read before the money comes, you've got to be able to understand the ABC. That is why in the school of life, it's very important for everybody to be able to know how to do calculations, how to know additions, subtractions, and also how to be able to understand the logic and the reasoning around them. And that is why before anyone actually earn money, you must learn how to be able to determine the understanding concepts of wealth creation, which is the 7 logic of wealth creation. The wealthy understand that knowledge is the foundation upon which wealth is built. So this now takes us to what is first logic of wealth creation. The first logic of wealth creation is learning. Poor thinking produces poor decisions in life, because so many people, when you don't have the right understanding, I know some people, even with what is going on in socials today, some tell you that education is a scam. But friends, come closer, grab some pen and paper. Education is never a scam, because it is what you need to be able to have that foundation for what you've got to be able to build upon. For every houses and structure that you see, for it to be able to stand, there is need for you to be able to know what is the foundation, how depth the person or the structure has actually been before you can actually start laying some bricks on the ground floor, first floor, and all of those along the line. And again, with a lot of people, you find out that so many people that are not actually wealthy, some of them, what led to those things today is because they don't have the right decisions. And average thinking produces average results. When you think average, you will always produce average. But when you think exponential, you produce exponential results. Expanded thinking produces expanded possibilities in this world today. And that is why you find out that most of the wealthy and rich people in this world today are not people who stopped learning others after success. Most of them, they actually learn even while they are successing, while they're actually becoming more better, making more money. They go to school. They even go to courses. They actually take in a lot of modules. They even take a lot of professional qualifications on daily basis. And you find that they read a lot. If you have actually gone on the first class cabin crew, you find out that most people in the first class cabin crew, sometimes some of them would have actually read some certain things. They will even take a lot of notes. They've actually had time to be able to put things in place because they need a quiet thing. And that is why knowledge is actually very important. And just like what we normally say in our class classes most times that most people, they always say that if you want to become a doctor, study medicine. If you want to become an accountant, study accountancy. If you want to become a mechanic, study mechanical engineering. If you want to become an electrician, study electrical engineering. But if you want to become wealthy, you've got to have the right knowledge. And the word knowledge is knowing what others do not know. And it gives you an edge with a system and information in place so that you can be able to recruit people to work for you. The wealthy understand that the more valuable knowledge they possess, the more valuable solution they can create. That is why when you have valuable solutions, that's why you find out that most people competing, most stores, most businesses that are competing today, you find out that in the restaurant, let's say in the food industry, for example, KFC, McDonald's, Chicken Licken, Chicken Republic, different of all of these people, you find out that all of them kept their recipe as a secret from each other. You can't actually use the same recipe that KFC is using in McDonald's. No, they will actually sue you for intellectual property. And that is why you see everybody, you find out that there is different cuisines, Russian cuisines, you find out that there is Chinese cuisines, you find out there is Somalia cuisines, up and down. Different people actually create different things. And every of these things actually hide in the knowledge. And that's why we always say knowledge. What poor people don't actually do is that they don't go after knowledge. And if you want to be able to get people to be able to get wherever you want to get in life, you need that knowledge. Many people walk past opportunities every day because their minds are not trained to recognize them, because they don't have the right knowledge. They cannot see it. They can't even be able to comprehend it. You find out that there are opportunities everywhere. On daily basis, a million nanoseconds, in every second. If you sit down quietly in every area you are, you will find out that in that area where you are, in that industry you are in that profession you are in, opportunity is actually coming up. That opportunity is actually very important for you to be able to know what to do. And now, instead of you complaining, when you hear anybody complain like this, just know that there's an opportunity opening up. And that is how God creates solutions for people. And that's why so many people in this world of age today that we're in, they actually make a lot of money, because the wealthy and the rich minds always see opportunity in all of this. Imagine when a farmer does not actually plant seed, he cannot see a harvest. That is why when poor people do not actually create something, do not actually see betterment in that thing that they have in front of them, they will not be able to, because it hides in knowledge. If you want to, they always say that if you want to hide great things from black people, put it inside books. They won't open it. Even poor people, not black people, I mean poor people. And that is why you see that a lot of people in this day and age, it's not because what that guy know or what that girl know is different from what you know. It's because what they know and what you know, they actually put it into actions, because action precedes wealth. If you don't actually take action towards whatever you've written or you've taken note of, there is no how you can actually be able to. And that is why logic number one is very important, which is knowledge. Because for every wealth, there is always a knowledge that is hidden as a foundation of it. If you don't sow seed into learning, if you don't actually pay for tuitions, if you don't pay for those courses, you don't pay for mentorship, you don't actually go to be able to acquire the right skills and knowledge, there is no how you can be able to become more better than the next person beside you. You find that a lot of people, even most of the wealthy people, they take certifications upon certifications in that specified field so that they can become more better. And that is why so many businesses today, you find that most of them actually adhere to international standard organizations procedures, because that is very important for them to be able to say they do this, they do that. And again, it requires patience, it requires investment, it requires you to be consistent in anything you do. Knowledge is very expensive. When I mean knowledge is expensive, even for you to be able to get those data, to be able to watch some of this, you have to subscribe to some data platform. And even for a lot of people today and time, you find out that most of them do not actually have more patience. Because, I think I heard about in recent times, some persons as part of our community actually mentioned that, some of the master classes are very long. I said, well, these things actually require, imagine for an hour masterclass, you have to actually prepare for about 7 days. You have to get a lot of materials. You have to be able to even review, practice. You also have to take some views or some even suggestions from the community to be able to put some of these things in place. You find out that for every 1 hour, there's always almost about, let's say, 60 hours of groundwork before that. And that is why you've got to be in the right community, in the right place, in the right investment, in the right platform. And again, this is one of those things that everybody must actually be able to know, because many people in this time and age, everywhere, you've got to be able to know the opportunities everywhere. When you have the right knowledge, you will find out that you can actually prepare. But preparation determines what you captures it. Again, many people walk past opportunity on daily basis, in every second, in every minute. But because their mind are not trained to recognize them, they are not able to make hold or lay hand or be able to take action towards that. And again, when we want to talk about some of these things, just take a case study of a farmer. A farmer sometime will actually plant some seeds, and at the end of the day, the wind will come, the rain will come, the water will wash some of those seeds away. But don't forget, if you sow those seeds in the right soil, in the right environment, in the right season, they can be right. That is why those seeds you are sowing is the knowledge. Imagine if a farmer actually sow in 6 months, in 4 months, depending on the crops, or in 5 years, depending on the kind of niche that the farmer is actually looking at or species, it will actually germinate fruits. But it doesn't end at you just sowing a seed. It ends at you able to water, pruning, removing the weeds, the tares. That is why it takes you to be able to take perseverance. The farmer does not even give up. He actually goes to the farm virtually every 2-3 days, or every week, or every fortnight, depending on the kind of environment and the kind of soil or the kind of crop. At the end of the day, the farmer does not even give up. When it's time for harvest, he doesn't even harvest it alone. He calls people together. And that's why you need knowledge from diversified mind of people with the right knowledge, the right foundation, the right product, the right thing that they're actually going to be able to put in place. It requires you to be able to have patience. It will also cost you your time. It will cost you your investment of your time. And it will also cost you consistent care, because learning is so hard. Imagine sometime when I wake up maybe around 3 a.m. or 4 a.m., I've got to give myself to reading. Even no matter the kind of money the rich man has, they learn via meditations. Some even learn while on the flight. Some even listen to podcasts. Some even tune to different investment platforms to hear the news on what has the market been able to do. That is learning. They even specify where they go to, what they discuss, and the kind of community they belongs to. Imagine if you actually belong to a healthy group where you share ideas, where you also invest together, you put money together, using those ideas and foundation that you've had in terms of the knowledge, you sow it into a product or a service, then you can actually be on the way to become wealthy. Now, I don't know what God has deposited in you. When we talk about knowledge, when you are in school, that's why you find out that most people from so many countries today, if you go to school, you're not meant to go to school only to go to school and get a certificate alone. In that school, the information that you've learned in that school should be able to create you to become an inventor, or to become a solution or a product creator or service creator. Because in one of the courses or subjects, you find out that you love one particular thing or one thing that they discuss about, and if you go for that thing, you find out that that product can actually be something, or the solution can actually be what God has required you to be able to. I don't know what God has given to you. Have you done some assignments or some projects that you have passion for that you abandon, and God is saying, this is what I've given to you? Or maybe you are somebody that creates something and you find out that that product is actually, because you don't have the money, why not get right people to be able to finance those things and bring a team together? Maybe you don't have the right technical how or know-how of how to go about the business or the product. You can actually gather your friends together that are very good in different niche, maybe in the programming, maybe in the creation of the product, maybe that knows people, that have access to relationship to people that can create those products and things like that. Or they also have maybe the market, the off-takers that can take those products whenever it is. That is how you are able to create. And again, it requires you to be able to know that your mind itself is a seed. Because if your mind is not actually in a very good environment, good space of mind, in a quiet, serene environment where you can think, there is no how that mind can become a seed. Your mind should be a well where things are actually positively springing up from. It shouldn't be something that is negative. Wealthy people, those knowledge create them to be able to have a mind. That's what I call mind pittance of their own. Mind pittance. And you've got to be able to see how you can put your mind to work, because your mind is your seed. What fed it determines what grows from your mind. And feed it with knowledge. Exonerate it with knowledge. Encumber it with knowledge. Because when you do all of this, when you expand it, when you take it to the gym of knowledge, it will be able to grow as time goes on, and wisdom will grow from that mind. Fixed excuses cannot create anything, or limitations cannot grow from it. Feed it, do not feed it with fear. Because when you feed it with fear of unknown, your mind, your knowledge will become your reality. A lot of people have lost these opportunities in life. That is why you find out that they end up in they end up in the mortuary, they end up in the hospital, because they are afraid of taking that first step of logic, which is logic of knowledge. Knowledge precedes wealth. If you have the knowledge, you can be able to. And again, if you are living without working, knowing all of those things that you put in place, it's like living without knowing. Remember, those who know rule over those who do not know. And those who actually that are in the know are the ones that rule those who are not in the know. Number 2 logic is the logic of skills. When we talk about skills can be anything. Maybe with the hand, with the mind, with the leg, with the mouth. It can be anything. It can be because the works of your hands is what God has deposited in you. Knowledge alone is not enough. When you've acquired the knowledge, you now be able to translate it into becoming a skill, because knowledge must always become a skills. And that is why you find out that from the knowledge today, people become different things in different areas. Maybe in some of those things, you've not been able to learn how to be able to use social media as a leverage, or how to use a particular tools as a leverage. Then you can make it a skills. And a person can read 100 books about swimming, but might not even know how to swim. That's why you see professors of swimming technology, some of them might not even be able to know how to swim. You find out that you cannot read your way to become a pilot. Nobody can actually pray for you to become a pilot. You've got to go through it. You don't want to be religious on this road to become. You must be able to create your knowledge, and that knowledge can be turned into skills. And again, a person when does not make a swimmer. Even when you actually learn how to read how to swim 100 books, you cannot be able to become a swimmer. No. Even you can't even be able to drive a plane without you going through the school. You can even read 1,000 books, but without you taking that practical steps of becoming it, you cannot actually become a pilot. Even when your pastor or your imam even pray for you, those prayers will not even turn you to become a pilot overnight. You've got to go through that school to become a medical doctor. You've got to give yourself to ardent learning and putting a lot of things into practicals. Go for housemanship, go for internships. They do a lot of things practical, open different cadavers. They even dissect, they even change, they have to do a lot of things that could help you. Skills is what helps you is the application of your knowledge. And application creates mastery for everything you do. Skills are the bridge between your knowledge and your income. And the marketplace does not reward what you know. It rewards the skills, the product, the services that you render. The marketplace rewards what you can do with what you know. Remember, only those who knows rule over those who do not know. And if you want to increase in your income, increase your ability, increase your skills, develop skills that solves valuable problems in every area. I don't know you that you're watching this from. What skills have you been able to develop? What can people say you're a good at? Maybe you are somebody that when you speak, most times, when people look at you, they say, oh, I like the way you put your words. When 2, 3, 4, 5 people have mentioned a particular skills about you, it might be maybe you're meant to be a motivation speaker. Maybe you're somebody that knows how to be able to create solutions with an algorithm. You like to create products. You like to break things and also recreate those things. Maybe God is giving those things into you. Maybe you're somebody that God is saying, you know what? Maybe because the way you do a particular thing as a skill is different from others. It might be that some of those things that God wants to create for you. Remember, only those who have mastery of skills can actually create wealth for anything they do. When we're still talking about this logic number 2, skills actually helps you. If you want to increase your income in life, you've got to be able to develop those skills, partner with people, collaborate with people, and also those skills must actually be unique. That's why you find out that doctors solve health problem. You find out engineers solve design problem, and lawyers solve legal problems, and entrepreneurs solve human problems. So, which problem are you going to be solving? The question solves, you may ask yourself is, what problem can I personally, you have to personalize the question. Can I actually solve so effectively that people are willing to exchange value for my solution? And your skill will always be your economic engine in life. If you have the right skills, it's going to give you the economic engine, because that is where your wealth is. There were some time, one of my mentee who used to be my co-supervisor in my days and days when I was doing my PhD, he said there's one thing I've actually valued about you. If it is that thing, is the value of relationship. You know how to keep relationship. Even not only him, even some of my business partners. You know, when people are fighting with a lot of people or not even having something against each other, what I do is that I keep my relationship open, because I don't know when I might need those people. I don't know. I would never go ill over anybody. I would never speak ill over anybody. I've got to be able to build a healthy environment, healthy relationship, because at one point in time, you will need people, because relationship is an oil that people have not discovered. It is one of the economic engine that can transport you into a place that you need to be, from where you are to the place you need to be transposed to. Your skills will always create economic engine. Let's go to logic number 3. The logic number 3 is the logic of value creation. When we talk about this, when we talk about logic number 1 is that of knowledge. Logic number 2 is that of skills. Logic number 3 is that of value creation. When we're talking about value creation, income follows values. When you've actually been able to, if you want to make money, you've got to be somebody of value, somebody that people can speak highly of, positively. There are places that I've worked in life at the early stage of life that I've actually been able to go out of that place, but I don't dispose the people. I don't dispose relationship. I keep it open. And this is one of the things I want to tell you. You've got to be somebody of value, not somebody who takes from people, but someone who people can actually say is somebody that add greater value to what I do. The person who creates more value generally increase more reward, because when you are of value addition to anybody, you will always receive more reward. That is why salary alone is not even enough. Maybe you want to say, okay, I've been a value to your organization. Salary alone is not enough for whatever you want to do. Your salary is usually connected to your reputation. And you perform a particular function repeatedly, at the end of the day, you receive compensations. But your income increases when your value increases. I told some people that in the same city where you are, if you sit down very well, the same environment where you are, there are some people that are making $100 a day. There are some persons that are making $1,000 a day. There are some persons that are making $10,000 a day. There are some persons that are making $100,000 a day or a month. And you find out that there are people that are even making millions in a month where you are. But at the end of the day, that shows that there are things that they know, there are value that they create that you don't know. Some people tell me in recent time, one of my mentees was actually asking me in recent time that, do I go into cryptos? And I said, well, if you want to be able to go into crypto, you've got to develop the right skills. I remember in the early days of life when I was into stocks and I was trading, and at the end of the day, I lost huge amounts of money. But I didn't give up in all of those things. But today, I have a community that actually trade on our behalf. Now, you perform That's whatever skills that you have. You've got to be able to make sure that that skills can actually create income that can increase your value. A person who only repeated a task has a limited earning capacity. Maybe you are somebody that is used to about 10 years of the same work over and over. You don't want to go, you don't want to stretch. It is time for you to dust up, to go acquire a valuable skills that others does not have. So that even when you want to leave an organization today, tomorrow, they will call you for renegotiation. It's okay, can we increase? Can we add? Can we? Because once you have been able to give them another offer of job employment in another organizations, you find out that if you are valuable, they will not even tell you to say, okay, you can go. They want to negotiate more for you. It has happened to me. It has happened to a lot of my mentees globally. And today, we actually became partner with a lot of organizations of such. So one thing I want to tell you is the marketplace will always ask you for how much you can create, not how tired did you become. No, it is not how work matters or hard work matters. No, but intelligence work creates greater results. There is a principle called the law of growth, and that law of growth states that everything that is alive must either grow or decline. Nothing remains permanently the same. A tree that stops growing begins to die. A company that stops innovating will begin to disappear. A person who stops learning beginning to become replaceable. And growth is not optional. Growth is survival. Ask yourself a question. Am I increasing the value where I bring to where I work? Because wherever you work, if you are not contributing significantly to the growth of that organization, you will be replaceable in no time. You've got to leverage skills. You've got to leverage AI. You've got to leverage artificial intelligence modalities of some of these things. The tools are just meant to be able to add to whatever you do, to be able to optimize it so that you can become more efficient, so that you can save more time. In the days where we used to run algorithm that would take about 5 days before you get some sample results, it's gone. And now you can actually run those algorithms that you run for 5 days in 10 seconds and you get a result of it. And again, the world does not reward position. Okay, I am the whatnot, I am the senior, I am the middle, the world does not reward that. Your job title does not protect you these days and time. Your value is what protects you in wherever you do in life. The world does not reward positions. The world reward contributions that you've made. And your value will always protect you. So are you valuable? Logic number 4 is the logic of entrepreneurship. And entrepreneurship is not simply opening a businesses. A lot of people always think that entrepreneurship is you opening a business, but it is not. It is not. You can be an entrepreneur through an organization. You can be an from outside, entrepreneur, and a ship. Entrepreneurship means within you are growing within, building business within to be able to sell it as a ship. And entrepreneur means you're creating from outside to be able to come within the global space. Entrepreneurship is your mindset. Do you get it? Your mindset is entrepreneurship. And I always tell people that your head office, wherever you want to do in life, is your head. It's not that head office where you see as a regional or whatnot. No, your head office is your head. Entrepreneurship is a mindset. It is the ability to see problems as opportunities. When you see problem, you can become an entrepreneur. You can create a solution for that problem. And you can package that solution and become a product. And that means you become an entrepreneurship. Now, you've been able to enter it, to be able to preneur it and ship it. And that's why today you see a lot of word of preneurships at one point or the other. Careerpreneurships, jobpreneurships, instapreneurships, different preneurs. You've got to be able to productpreneurships. Maybe you can be a productpreneurships, or you can become a coachpreneurships, or motivationpreneurships, or solutionpreneurships. All of them, you've got to be able to know. Some of these words might not be in the dictionary, but I'm creating this new word, just like mindpreneurship, coachpreneurship, techpreneurship, instapreneurship. How can this become more better? Is the question you've got to ask yourself. Because if you want to become somebody who is a entrepreneurship, you've got to be able to, because you don't want to be able to complain when you see problems. You want to be able to provide a solution for that. And that is where you create solution for anything you do. The entrepreneurship always, or any entrepreneurship, always make you understand that problem is a marketplace waiting for a solution. Anytime I see people complaining, wherever, anywhere in the world, I see opportunity to be able to solve that problem. Just like about a few hours ago, I was discussing with some of the top medical doctors, surgeons in a particular country, and they were talking that a particular product was out of the lines, and one of them was actually zebra. And when they talk about some of those things, and I said, okay, before you know it, we had to. The discussion has been for about 3-4 months. At the end of the day, we were thinking of producing or going through to be able to see. But at the end of the day, when people complain about a particular product, we want to be able to see what we can do. But there is a lot of opportunities and abundance in the world. When there's scarcity, I see opportunity in scarcity. And that is why you will see in the Bible, when the people were actually complaining in the time of Joseph, when there was famine, I don't know how you pronounce it in your own words, in a particular country in Israel. And now Joseph was actually the prime minister in that area. A lot of people were complaining about food, about hunger in the land. People were even eating themselves. But what did Joseph do? He was actually able to save the country economy. He was able to ask them to save for a certain years. Do you know that neighboring countries, neighboring families, they even came into the country to be able to borrow, to be able to lend, to be able to, and they became like the World Bank of food banks to those people. Imagine if anybody complained behind you, beside you, within you, or even within your environment. You've got to be able to see how you can solve problems. Even when people say there is no particular thing in this area, I see a solution in those areas. Look at some of the greatest companies in the world today. They were built because some people saw an inconveniences and created improvement for them. In the days where there was no e-commerce, Alibaba actually did a lot of things in those areas. When he sees that there's no way they could ship some things from a particular region to a particular region, he created a platform where people can actually come. And that is why even Uber created an e-commerce Uber platform where people can actually come to list their cars and be able to, because people were saying they don't have money to be able to buy a car at that moment. But now with a certain amount of dollars or pounds, you can actually rent a car at anywhere you are in the world. When I was in Paris in recent times, or in Spain in recent times, I actually, because I can't drive to that, I had to even take a particular car, a Tesla. I had to go to those particular companies and actually rented a car from Paris to Spain. And I drove through for about a few hours. And I parked the car at that place, at the charging stations, because they have different maps in different countries. Now, imagine if I was to drive a car from that area, because now I don't want to be able to go through the flight. I just want to see how the coastline or countryside look like. And that actually solved the problem of me able to say I want to be having a car in different countries. Now today, everybody now uses Uber in the world. Somebody saw a solution, a problem, and solved problems. And that is why hotels, B&Bs, and all of these things, Airbnbs actually create some of this. Home share, car shares, home away. You know, a lot of them are some of these solutions that people solve. And again, when you actually, people look at some of these greatest in this world today, people look at every problem that people complain about and they provide solutions for them. I don't know in the area where you are in, are people complaining about water? It might be maybe you need to set up a factory for water or bring people together. Or maybe people are complaining about technology in your area. It might be that God is saying, why not put up a technology solutions in that area? Or maybe somebody in your area is actually complaining about ironing of clothes or dry cleaning companies and they don't have time. It might be that you need to set up a dry cleaning company. Maybe you are somebody that people complain about some of the environment that there is no Now, maybe you want to be able to set up a supermarket in your area. Or maybe people are falling sick in your area and there's no solution for people to get healed. They have to travel long miles before they can locate an hospital. It might be God is saying, create an hospital. It might be a technology company that people are actually complaining about. But it might be that God is saying, this is a solution I want you to do. So people need easier transportation. Technology company create solutions. Transport platform create solutions. People needed simpler shopping experiences. E-commerce company created solutions. The entrepreneurs does not chase money first. The entrepreneur chase value. And because of this, when value is created, your money will increase. Again, this now means that value creates money because money follows value. Remember, logic number. When we've talked about some of this, let's take a case study, for example, in the time of this entrepreneurship. The Ruperts, they went from trading to building systems. One Africa's greatest businesses stories in the journey of Johann Rupert. History teaches us that one of them important principles that they do is that they do not become wealthy by only working harder. You become wealthy by building systems that can create value at a scalable segmentations. Dangote began trading. He learned markets. He understood customers. He studied knowledge of supply chains, how he can be able to transport the goods and products. And but he did not remain only a trader. But what did he do? He moved from buying and selling products into creating industries. He moved from personal effort into systems. This is one of the greatest transitions into wealth creation. Moving from being a worker inside a system to become a creator of a system. Now, I don't know where you're working. Maybe you think the work that you're doing is going to serve you forever. Do you know that that company might actually fold up 5 years, 10 years? What are you going to do? Now, while you are there in that company, in the bank, in the real estate company, in the construction company, in any company that you're working with, technology company, it means that you've got to be able to start creating a product of your own and become valuable and create a product that people can actually, because now, imagine if you are about to leave that company. Do you know that if you're value to them, they can actually tell you that, you know what, can you become a consultant to us? Today, these are some of the results of what I do globally, of what we do globally, because we create products, we create services that now get more value. Moving from being a worker inside a system to become a creator of a system. Very important. A trader can make more money from transactions. One single deal to become a broker, to connect somebody to somebody, and you sell the products to them through a drop shipping or through one, you can make a lot of money from it. Build an industry, but an industrialist creates systems that serve millions of people. And again, the lesson I want to teach you here is wherever you are, you can actually start from there. Develop your knowledge. When you have that knowledge, the second thing is to master your skill. When you own your skill, the marketplace will understand you, and you've got to understand the marketplace and then build something that can grow beyond that. Logic number 5, the logic of systems. If you see, I was able to introduce the logic. As we started from logic number 1, which is logic of knowledge. And logic number 2 is that of logic of skills. And logic number 3 is that of logic of value creation. And logic number 4 is logic of entrepreneurship. And logic number 5 that we are talking about is systems. Because if you want to be able to loot the poor, if you want to be able to create solutions for the world, you've got to have a systems that you can keep track of, that even when you are not there, it can be a legacy systems. And that is one of the things, one of my mentor actually mentioned in recent time, that now they no longer build system for themselves, they're only creating legacies. And I want to even employ you today. I don't know where you're watching this from or where you're listening to this podcast from. I want you to do me a favor by making sure you just click on the subscribe button, leave positive comments in this place so that the algorithms, different platforms can actually know that you're benefiting a lot from this platform. Imagine if you are able to do this, give positive comments, subscribe, like, and share to minimum of 20 people, and comment what you enjoy on this video. Please do that. I'm waiting for you. While you have done that, let's continue. Number 5 is the logic of system. The wealthy people understand that system creates freedom. A person can only work so many hours, but a system can operate continuously. Imagine if you have about 100 people working for you per hour. Do you know that if you work for yourself per hour, you might not make more than $100, for example? Let's say they pay you $100 per hour. But now imagine when you recruit 100 people to work for you in one single hour, and you can actually scale up. You build a system in place, 10 people, 100, 20 people, 100 people. And now instead of you paying them $100, you can actually pay them maybe, let's say, $70 or $80 an hour, or per deal, depending, or per day. You can make it per week or per month. And you can even give them more additional value so that they can be able to stay more committed to your systems. Maybe where they are working at the moment, they're getting $80. You can even make it $120, and you recruit all of them with your system. And you offer the same solution of where they are, and they're actually doing very well. But again, when you are recruiting staff, don't recruit people that are not better than you. Recruit people that are smarter, that are educated, that know the systems, that know the solutions, and they are of value than you. That is how you can be able to scale. Today, in some of our companies, we don't just recruit people anymore. We recruit people that are smarter than us, that can actually be able to manage the systems. And that is why that system can actually help you to operate without you being there. Imagine a restaurant. If you are actually operating a manual restaurant, wherever you are, the owner can actually cook every meal personally, but can create a job or few jobs for fellow staff members. But when an owner trains different employees, can create processes, manages quality of those food, and also build multiple locations and create a system that can actually help you to scale through. Imagine where you are actually shopping from. Let's say McDonald's, for example. Do you know that McDonald's, they're actually a real estate company? Most of them always own their physical company. But at the end of the day, you find out that they even operate a restaurant, which is a food outlet. And that restaurant, you find out that a lot of people there. You can easily go there even without a staff in the surface. You can actually go enter. You can enter the order. You select from the order list, and you can even enter your card. You make payments, and your orders, you'll be given a ticket. And the people who are actually dispatching or giving those food can actually be able to show you on the screen. You can even see when your order is ready for collection, and you pick it up. Do you know that that is a system? Imagine you replicate that in different states, different places, in your business that you are doing today. The reason why you've not actually been able to go far today is because you are very selfish. It's because you are not looking at collaborating. It's because you don't want to be able to go all out, to be able to get people that are better than you. Maybe sometime it might be, maybe you don't have the right finances. Why not actually come to www.juliusaroba.com and be able to drop some of the comments and let them know that you are here to be able to add greater value to what is being created. Please make sure you stay glued. The phone needs to be your camera, whatever you are watching with. Take note so that this thing will not be, because you've got to be in the right mind so that life will be able to be fair unto you. Now, life is not about luck. I don't believe in luck. You've got to be able to see how you can become more better by creating the systems that can help you to upscale. A consultant who creates courses, for example, imagine this particular product that you are listening to or you are watching is actually a product in a university. Do you know how much you would have made per this minute or per this seconds or per this hour? Training programs, books, organization that creates scalable values. The question I want to ask you is, can what I create continue producing value without my constant physical presence in there? If the answer is yes, then it means that you're actually moving forward, moving towards a world creation. In your system today, if you are not available, will people be able to make decisions on your behalf? Let us think. Let's go to number 7. Number 7 is the logic of capital. Capital, money. Money. Capital is money, and it always have a mission. When you have money, many people make money but never build wealth because they consume everything they earn. The wealthy understand that money should not only be spent, money should be trained. You've got to train the money that comes to you. Money should be directed. Money should be invested. Money should go on a mission for you. When you give your money an assignment as an evangelist, when you give your money an assignment as a system, it should be able to create more legs for you, more system for you. Every money that comes into you must go into a system. It should be your capital. Because the purpose of money is not only to buy things. No. The purpose of money is to create more opportunities in life. A wise person always asks, how can this money produce more money for me? Money should become a worker for you. Money should not be your elder. Money should not be your master. Money should be your servant. When you invest wisely, your money will begin working while you sleep. This is why you want to settle financially faster on the journey for wealth creation. Not because you want to be able to stop being productive, but because you want your capital to join your efforts. Now, let's dissect into some biblical principles today. When we talk about wealth, whoever is faithful in anything little will be faithful in much. God requires increases from your resources. He looks at your ability to be able to manage what you already have. Small resources will always manage wisely and can become great resources. And again, in the book of Proverbs chapter 10, verse 4 says, lazy hand make poverty, but diligent hand bring wealth. Success requires discipline, ideas, actions. Dreams needs work. Visions require executions. And again, when we talk about some of this, remember we talked about wisdom. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, we need to apply the wisdom, which is our head, which is our head knowledge. We've got to be able to know, because money without wisdom will create problem. And again, wisdom creates the ability to manage. When we talk about this, we've got to be able to see what God has given to you. But I want you to know that life is very important. So, when we talk about all of this, the 6 logic we've talked about, the logic of wealth creation, the logic of capital, the logic of systems, the logic of entrepreneurship, the logic of value creation, the logic of skills, the logic of learning, knowledge. The last one, which is the logic of wealth creation. Whatever you want to do in life, you've got to be able to know how to create with everything we blend. I want to be able to see you that you are not rendering a service, a product, and that you are actually on the field with your team, with your members. If you need financiers, you have a business that has actually done 3 years minimum, and you actually need a certain amount of money, or you are in the course of raising finances and your books are checked out, your company is registered, your product is competitive in the market, and you need financiers, what I want you to do is to go to www.juliusaroba.com and fill that form online, which is the inquiry form, to say you need financiers. And you've got to be able to add your, your pitch deck. In your pitch deck, everything must be there, because we are buying businesses, we are investing into businesses globally, in any country where you are. But you've got to be able to show all of this, because our team has got requirements that you've got to meet. And when they find your business interesting, your product very interesting, our team will surely contact you. But I want to ask you a question today. What has God deposited into you? And do you now know that this logic is now important? Because the first currency in the world is not money. The first currency in the world is knowledge. When we talk about this, that is what we call the 7 logic of wealth creation. And I cannot wait to see what you've learned in the comments. And our team will be waiting for you to see your comments. Please share this to minimum of 20 groups, minimum of 20 contacts, and leave your positive comment, like, share, and comment on every platforms. If you're not following us, go to the LinkedIn, make sure you look for RSEG Link Zillionaire Consulting and you subscribe. If you go to Facebook or maybe to RSEG Link Zillionaire Consulting, and we also have a couple of businesses. Maybe you want to also follow us on all of this, look for RSEG Links on all the platforms and follow us on Twitter, on TikTok, on X, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, or you look for Dr. Julius or Professor Julius Oluwasegun Aroba on Spotify, on Apple Podcast, or Amazon Music, on YouTube channel. Please Let this go viral. And I cannot wait to see you, shaking hands with you, to say well done for what you've learned and what you've actually been able to. I hope you've actually been able to learn something great today. Once again, my name is Dr. Julius Aroba, and I cannot wait to see you in our next masterclass, where you're going to be showing us your practical of what you've done today, what you've learned today. God bless you and stay blessed. Shalom. I love you.